everyone, this is Ania here at Philbrook. I'm a senior horticulturist and I would like to talk to you today about making your own compost in your kitchen or garage out of your food waste, probably kitchen food waste. So one way to do it is to have a big pile of compost in your backyard, or have something like this and use worms. There she is. She promised to be my assistant, but no. So this is called a vermiculture and worm composting, and I've been very successful with this for the last 3 years, and I wanted to share some secrets with you how to make it really work, and it's super easy. So this is vermiculture. Vermi I think stands for worms in Latin. And how it works is you basically use those red wigglers to eat your food waste. So I'll talk more about what kind of food waste they like, but let's focus on those little guys. Red wigglers are the best for this job because they actually they live about 6 inches to the top in the topsoil, so they don't go too deep. And they prefer to live in like food waste. So that's exactly where you're gonna find them if you have some like food waste by the trash, and that's where you're gonna find them. So they love eating it, and as they process that food, their waste produces this beautiful compost, and it's like a black gold in your garden, like the best stuff you can put in your garden. So as you can see, this is pretty good consistency. This is nice and moist, but not too wet, crumbling. So that's how I know there's a good balance in moisture and dry. So how do we do that? We have obviously the food waste here, which is very moist, and you want to balance that with paper. Well, those red wigglers love eating paper, and any brown paper or like office shredded paper, if you have access to that, this is great. Some people use some brown leaves from your garden. Anything brown and dead is dry, and it's gonna be really good food for them, and it's gonna also like to sack this moisture out. See, this is like a paper I left put in yesterday, so it's pretty moist now and damp, and that's kind of keeps this compost in a good balance. A little bit about the food you use for vermiculture, vermicomposting is almost everything really, and worms don't like anything acidic. That's one thing, so you don't use any citrus. I would avoid tomatoes, and don't use any meat products. That is a kind of a hazard. It's gonna create a lot of bad smell, and some critters can get in there. And also like dairy products, don't use that. But like vegetables, like banana peels, coffee grains, and tea bags, they love that. So in moderation. Don't put too much in there because it's gonna get too moist, too wet, and it's still gonna start smelling. So a lot of good common sense over here. So if you put a lot of food like I did over the last few days, I'm gonna balance it with some paper. So I'm gonna put a lot of brown paper shredded here, or just like bigger pieces, just to kind of make sure that this is not too wet. I'll show you like how I built that compost bin. There's a lot of products on the market that they will sell. There's gonna be like towers, and I've tried it. It costs $100. I was excited about it, and I didn't like it because there's a lot of maintenance going on with that. With this is very low maintenance, almost zero maintenance. So as you can see, there's 2 totes, like you can get them at Home Depot, any size you want. I wanted the bigger one, and the reason you need 2 of them is because the bottom one is gonna collect any moisture not looking pretty. I didn't clean it because I wanted you to see actually what it's looking like. So the tote at the bottom is gonna collect the moisture. I put 2 bricks so that the upper tote is sitting on it. Underneath that upper tote, there's tons of, I drew a lot of holes in there. I don't know if you will see it, but believe me, there's a lot of holes drilled over there so that moisture from the compost has somewhere to drain to. So that's, you're going to be catching that moisture there, and occasionally you will just pull it out and dump it somewhere. And additional holes you want to drill is kind of around the rim up here. So there's a good airflow. So at the bottom and at the very top rim. And that's pretty much it. You have the bottom one, put something like 2 bricks over there, sit that inside, and you're pretty much ready to go. So how you start it, I kind of like a prepared, let's pretend that there are holes in here, and then you have another tote the same size you're gonna put in. So I shredded some paper and some leaves, and I am going to dump it, not too much, just a little bit, and I'm going to mix it really good to make sure this is nice and damp, not too much. Remember, not too much water. And now I'll just basically put my food waste in here. Don't start too much, just give them a little start. This is plenty, and I'm going to put some worms in there. So this is a good chunk. There's plenty of them. You can ask, in local Facebook groups. You can buy them online. You can buy them on Amazon. Very cheap, I guess $5 or something. And they will send you a chunk of red wigglers ready to go. And they'll go in here. If you have more, I'll put more. And I would also find some soil. Could be like your old plant. This is not a good quality soil. That's okay, because this is gonna be doesn't matter. Those worms are gonna really add a lot of nutrients into this soil. So just kind of give them a little start. Some spent soil in there, like this, and put some more paper on top, and then just a little bit more water, nice and damp. And you can cut some cardboard and make it moist and damp, so you can so it's not like dry. It will keep that moisture, and just put over here and put a lid on, and that's pretty much it. And I would give it probably a good month, and keep checking on what's going on. Maybe add a little bit, maybe a banana peel or something, and keep on checking on that paper if it's still damp, not too wet. And then they'll give them a nice start, and then you will be able to add even more food. And that's pretty much it. So whenever you want to pull out some good compost, I keep that food in one corner, and you like a fresh food, so that's where they like to be. They go and munch on this. Right here I don't have any food, and they're not here. I can go ahead and use that in my flower pots, in my garden, and it's ready to go. So really, honestly, the easiest thing to recycle your kitchen food waste, paper, and save some money on fertilizer, because this is the best thing you can get. And I don't know if you've been following us on Facebook. My colleagues Ross and Austin and myself, we've been doing some blog entries, and we post our blog every Tuesday. So this Tuesday is my turn, and I will be talking about how to make a compost tea out of these worm castings. And I tell you what, I've used many fertilizers, organic fertilizers in my life. The stuff I made out of this very easily is the best liquid fertilizer I ever used. So look out for that Tuesday post on our Facebook page, and you will learn more about how to use this wonderful compost.